Welcome back to Gaijin Hideout. I'm Jeff. With me, as always, is Jesse, and we're back to react to more Dragon's Dogma 2. So today, we have another hands-on preview from a guy named SuperRAD, and this is a YouTuber that was recommended to us by a guy in our comments named Enormous with a fantastic profile picture, I might add.
What does that name mean, Jeff? I don't understand.
I don't know. He's a big guy. He's a big guy, big brain.
Oh, okay.
And he recommended SuperRAD and also PlayStation Access. We did this PlayStation Access one recently. Go check that out on our channel. But yeah, so I heard that this one, I heard from Enormous actually that this video is about is great for talking about the quest lines. So that's something we haven't dove into too much. So just maybe small light spoiler warning for anyone that doesn't want to get spoiled on quests. I think this guy's going to talk more about it than about the quests and what you do and the conclusion of them than maybe what you'd heard before. But otherwise, let's get into it.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is out this month, and Capcom invited me down to NYC for a 3-hour hands-on session with both the returning Magick Archer Vocation as well as the new Mystic Spearhand. And let me just say, as a fan of the original, while the Vocations were impressive, it was the features that I got to see surrounding quests and the way in which you can go about them that really captivated me. Today I want to share with you all a bit about what I was able to experience with my time playing the game. These sponsored play sessions are sort of guided affairs. They don't tell you what to do, but because the build is so big, they kind of tell you where not to go and what not to see. Other than that,
so what I know so far about the quests is that they're a little bit emergent in that, you know, you're just kind of walking around town, people talk to you organically.
Yeah. And what we saw from the PlayStation Access trailer is that it was kind of like you had to do some digging to find stuff. They are not.
Yeah, they don't just hand it to you either. You know, you actually got to walk around town and ask people stuff.
I'm interested what he's talking about here, though, because he's saying that they do tell you what not to do. So I want to. I'm curious about
what sort of guided affairs. They don't tell you what to do, but because the build play sessions are sort of guided affairs. They don't tell you what to do, but because the build is so big, they kind of tell you where not to go and what not to see. Other than that, it's up to the player, and each
I think that was their play session that he said.
Yeah.
It was like that. My bad. Okay.
Session starts you somewhere new within the storyline. I'm going to keep this intro brief because this video can only be at most 20 minutes long. I had 1.5 hours on each vocation, so spoilers ahead. Nothing heavily story related, but...
Why did they limit that, I wonder?
I don't know. It's a good
question.
question.
They give them 3 hours, but it can only be 20 minutes. They just don't want that much footage out there, I guess. I guess that's fair.
Some neat features and side quests will be explained moving forward.
Gosh,
if you enjoy these videos, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, as it helps me create them for you all. With that out of the way, I'm SuperRAD, and this is the Dragon's Dogma 2 personal gameplay preview. Starting as the Mystic Spearhand, our character was a human Arisen entering some kind of border or gate town. I'm not sure what you would call it. Our main goal within the game currently was to get past the gate using falsified documents that suggested we were a merchant, but I ended up focusing more on exploring the vocation and the side quests available to us instead, because that's what interests me. That's what's cool in
Look at the map. It's kind of nice and cozy. Nice and cozy and hand-drawn.
A very like rustic, hand-drawn sort of feel to it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm used to like there being like a lot of like misty smoke everywhere, but now it's dirt. It's dirt everywhere, and then you're planting the seeds of the map as you travel. It's nice.
You can set waypoints too. Look at that. R3.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we had that in the first game too.
Okay.
But, okay, cool.
Because that's what interests me. That's what's cool in Dragon's Dogma. Mystic Spearhand is potentially the coolest vocation I have seen within the game thus far.
Yeah, big agree.
Having time to actually try it out only solidified that.
What is he fighting, by the way?
Opinion. It's a class that
Maybe
has
it's like a knoll or something.
That is.
If they've had those in this franchise before.
Although the focus seemed to be on.
What's a knoll?
A knoll is kind of like a hyena monster.
What?
Yeah, I know them from D&D and stuff, but it may just be a goblin in armor, because you know I'm looking at it and I see a goblin like right next to this guy.
Mystic Spearhand is potentially the coolest vocation I have seen within the game thus far, and having time
he looks
to
badass.
Try it out only solidified that opinion. It's a class that has both offensive and utility-based abilities, although the focus seemed to be on the aggressive over the supportive. Like many of the other vocations, Mystic Spearhand has a
there you go.
general
See another
melee
goblin
combo
pop
that
up.
is underwhelming if not used correctly. Instead, making use
It may
of
just
the
be the
Spearhand's
leader wearing the armor.
I think you're right. I think it's like a chieftain, a goblin chieftain.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. Okay, so he was saying this class tends to steer more aggressive. The Mystic Spearhand does. I like how you can you don't like you can use the force to just like levitate them and drop them and stun them and then just like lay into them with your spear. Like you don't have to yeet them all the way across the field.
It's nice. It gives you optionality, you know?
Yeah.
Ability-based abilities, although the focus seemed to be on the aggressive.
Is that a word? Optionality?
It is totally a word. Don't word shame me, Jeff. How dare you?
It's it. Chat, comment down below if
It's a word.
optionality is a word.
I swear it's a word.
over the supportive. Like many of the other vocations, Mystic Spearhand has a general melee combo that is underwhelming if not used correctly. Instead, making use of the Spearhand's abilities allows you openings where your melee combo is much more viable. In fact, the entire concept of the vocation seems to center around inhibiting the enemy, closing the distance, and then unleashing a boatload of damage. Everything seems to...
I didn't know that. I was like wondering, how it was going to come into play, because you do have things that you do have distance closing attacks. Yeah, but that makes a lot more sense. That's nice. I'm glad I'm glad someone's explaining it more, because up till this point it's medieval
Vocation,
Jedi.
Cool. I love it.
The enemy, closing the distance, and then unleashing a boatload of damage. Everything seems to center around the Spearman's vocation-specific ability, Redoubted Bolt, as it's a projectile that does no damage but flinches the enemy, allowing you to utilize abilities like Humble Off Fringe to pick them up and toss them at other enemies. And since you can perform finishers on down...
So it hinges around the Redoubted Bolt. It hinges around stunning, stun locking. I don't know what you would call that. Stun
locking works. Yeah.
Okay. So you stout them with you stun them with Redoubted Bolt, and then that buys you time.
Yeah, to like set up your other stuff.
Wow.
As it's a projectile that does no damage but flinches the enemy, allowing you to utilize abilities
his armor
like
looks
Humble
fucking
Off Fringe
sick, by the way. You see that on the left?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Look at that.
This is like the main character energy that I want, He's gonna murder the villain.
Enemy, allowing you to utilize abilities like Humble Off Fringe to pick them up and toss them at other enemies. And since you can perform finishers on downed creatures, this allows you to wreak havoc against those small monsters, though larger ones are a different beast entirely, no pun intended.
Oh my goodness, I love that. I love it when it's like, I love you can do more than one.
Their enemies. And since you can perform finishers on downed creatures, this allows you to wreak havoc against...
I think he waited till that guy came in so that he could... Look at that! Oh, the Mystic Spearhand's so wonderful.
Those small monsters, though larger ones are
I just want a
different
team
beast
of
entirely,
all
no pun
well, you
intended.
can't do that, but...
Flinching seems to be a necessity.
Yeah, no, Mystic Spearhand's Arisen only. As you can see, why, and you can tell why.
Larger ones are a different beast entirely, no pun intended. Flinching seems to be a necessity in making sure abilities like Humble Off Fringe work on smaller monsters, but you could also just use it to pick up carryable items like rocks or barrels instead if things aren't working out for you. However, the class really shines when you charge your Redoubted into a Forgetting Bolt, which not only freezes enemies in place, but more importantly, allows you to teleport towards them using the Quick Fought core skill. And I don't know if you can tell, but some of these pronunciations are really whack. Just really hard to say. This,
I can tell.
The Dragon's Form weapon skill, allow the Mystic Spearhand to close the distance on enemies with ease, while also providing crowd control opportunities.
So let me read that description. Alters the effect of Redoubted Bolt so that it instead prevents the target's movement. Charging up magic before unleashing extends the effect. Can charge magic while performing other actions. Hold R1 to charge, then release to fire.
Interesting.
Okay, so you can queue it up.
Skill, and I don't know if you can tell, but some of these pronunciations are really whack. Just really hard to say. This, along with...
I was missing the part.
Not only freezes any...
So after you hold them in place,
but more importantly, allows you to teleport towards them using the Quick Fought core skill.
Quick Fought core skill.
There you go.
Why does that allow? I'm just trying to wrap my head around why that allows him to do it. Does none of this work if they're not stunned? Basically, is that what I'm understanding here? It's like if they're not flinched, then like when you try and use these skills, they'll either resist them or like counter you. Like if you try to warp into the enemy and he's not stunned, are they gonna like hit you? Hurt you? And then additionally, if you use the humble offering and they're not stunned, are they just gonna resist it? I'm assuming that's what happens.
But more importantly, allows you to teleport towards them using the Quick Thought core skill. And I don't know if you can tell, but some of these pronunciations are really whack. Just really hard to say. This, along with the Dragon's Foin weapon skill, allow the Mystic Spearhand to close the distance on enemies with ease, while also providing crowd control opportunities. Additionally, the four-betting bolt can be broken off into the Scattering Bolt ability as well, allowing you to...
Okay, I think, by the way, I think the Dragon's Foin was... I think that's the one... I think that's like the thrusting spear attack that helps you close the distance. I don't know if you remember that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
The distance on enemies with ease, while also providing crowd control opportunities. Additionally, the four-betting bolt can be broken off into the Scattering Bolt ability as well, allowing you to slow groups of enemies.
Disperses forbetting
groups
bolt,
of enemies.
Disperses forbetting bolt after it has been unleashed, ensnaring hostile targets in the vicinity and preventing them from moving. Targets stuck directly are restrained for longer. Plus are the instant forbetting bolt connects with a foe.
Oh, that's so cool.
Enemies at a time. Then it's all about toss to the Scattering Bolt ability as well, allowing you to
slow look at that. Oh, look at that. It's like
this
a shockwave
is like Kylo Ren with his fucking force freeze ability from that one movie.
You're right. I love that it's like timed too. Like it's just...
I know. Yeah, it's not just, use the move, You actually have to have a little touch of skill to use it.
That's so interesting.
He's at a time. Then it's all about tossing them around, grounding them, etc. For larger monsters like this ogre here, the Quick Thought skill can be used to help you land on top of the monster so you can better target weak points. This is where your generic melee ability really shines, as repeated attacks turn it into a sort of unlimited windmill attack that gets faster as you use it.
What? What?
Position correctly.
Wow.
Have we seen anyone like go this wild with this ability?
Oh, good for you. Oh, dude, good for this guy, man. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad. This guy plays a lot of Dragon's Dogma, so he knows what he's doing. But man, that's so cool. I'm trying to just keep track of all the skills in my head at the same time. One thing I wanted to see was, I know we just saw that was awesome, but right at the start,
tossing them
of
around,
that clip,
rounding them, etc. For larger monsters,
right here,
like this.
Is that a parry?
Ogre here, the Quick Thought.
What is that? Parry. Or was that the shield? Was that his magic shield?
Yeah,
what went off there? Let me see. We can see it. I think we can see it when he's. Oh my god!
Look at that.
Give me a. I need a plug-in. I need a plug-in for this. Damn it! Sorry. Sky Dragon.
Here we go. We do see a skill trigger. Yeah.
Switch weapon skills. Sky Dragon's
ogre
Fangtooth. Yeah.
Here, the Quick Thought.
That is something. That's something. He's got some kind of a... Did his health go down? Let's see.
For larger monsters like this ogre here, the Quick Thought...
I didn't see anything go down. Okay.
No, his health seemed like it was fine.
That's great. That's great that that you get like defensive moves like that too.
Skill can be used to help you land on top of the monster so you can better target weak points.
He said it. He said it up there at the top.
Skill can be used to help you land on top of the monster.
I actually used Sky Dragon's Fangtooth here, he said. Okay. So it's not... Okay, if we were confused for a second. So this is a... Was that the... Wait, was that what he activated? Oh.
Yeah, it was.
Was that all one move then? Sky Dragon's Fangtooth.
I don't know.
Did it counter
larger monsters like this ogre here, the Quick Thoughts...
Maybe he countered and then he also activated Sky Dragon's Fangtooth.
Yeah, he might just have a block or a parry or something. He looks like he has some kind of fucking shield around him too.
I know that's an ability that you get.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool if he gets a parry. It would make sense. I feel like if you're a spearhand, you should have a parry. Like, it's very skill-based.
on top of the monster.
All right,
so
now
you
let's
can
soak
better
this
target
in.
weak points. This is where your generic melee ability really shines, as repeated attacks turn it into a sort of unlimited windmill attack that gets faster as you
I love
use
that.
it. Meaning
I
you
love
can
that
melt
jump.
this dude if positioned correctly. On top of that,
Melt.
you have a parry
That's
slash
great.
counter skill, Sky Dragon's Fang Tooth, that gets more powerful if you time it before you get attacked, making this.
Oh, it's a parry counter skill. He just said it. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That makes so much sense. So right here, all right, just breaking it down for everybody, I guess, for the extra slow people, I guess. If there's any extra slow people like me.
Us.
Okay, so
As well, allowing you to
he,
slow groups of enemies at a time. Then it's all about tossing them. Skill can be used, grounding them,
God damn
etc.
it.
For larger monsters like this
Okay.
ogre here,
so that's all one move. This is him parrying
the
successfully,
quick fought skill can be
I'm
used to
assuming.
help you
and then that results in him teleporting above him.
land on top of the monster. So you can
And then he lands. And the interesting thing about this, I'm noticing like he's got good footing on these bosses. Like your character in general seems to be able to stand up a bit more.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. He's not losing his stamina like he's climbing or something, right?
Yeah, in the first game, that felt like almost impossible to do. Maybe I'm just a noob, but like you were just clinging on for dear life at any given moment. Or maybe I just never tried. You know what? Maybe I didn't try.
Yeah. Well, this makes it, I feel like this class, this vocation, just makes it easier to get on top of enemies anyway.
Yeah. And it's like it plops you on top. You know, you're not like immediately grabbing.
Right.
You have to press the R2 to grab still. You can see that down here. So he just didn't do that. He forewent that in favor of doing the windmill thing, which is so awesome. And he just like had the faith that he was going to stand up. You know, this guy was going to stay with a flat enough plane for him to stay up. That's like such an epic, risky move. I just
better
love
target
that.
weak points. This is where your
He fell
generic
on his
melee
ass.
ability really shines, as repeated attacks turn it into a sort of unlimited
so
windmill attack that gets faster as you use it, meaning you
just
can
feels like
melt
he's
the
Look how
dude
much-
if
look how
positioned
much it
correctly.
melted
On
off,
top of that,
dude.
You have a
He's
parry
done.
slash
He's
counter
done.
skill, Sky
Oh.
Dragon's Fang Tooth. That gets more powerful if you time it before you
Okay.
get attacked, making this a vocation that feels like it has both a high entry floor and an even higher skill ceiling. Finally,
Well, that's
Mirror Vesture
fantastic.
allows you to place a shield on yourself and any nearby
What was that called?
Oh,
higher
is
skill
this the
ceiling.
shield thing?
Finally, Mirror Vesture allows you to place a shield
Mirror vesture.
on yourself and any nearby pawns for a small duration. Very good for things like resurrecting pawns, since that takes much longer in this new game. I was constantly getting
Okay,
attacked
so that's
while
the
trying
shield
to
we
save
were saying.
Oh, look at that load time.
Yeah, okay.
one of my pawns, but the shield managed to nullify
take a
all
long
damage
time.
long enough for me to save them. Mystic to save
did
one of
you
my pawns, since that takes much longer in this new game. I was constantly getting attacked while trying to save one of my pawns, but the shield managed to nullify all damage long enough for me to save them.
Okay.
Mystic Spearhand felt like a free-form combo character. Like, all of its abilities are meant to be used in conjunction.
This guy just feels
with
like he
one
should be in
another to
fucking Street
control the
Fighter or
field before taking
something.
over.
Yeah.
Curious about what some of the extra skills will be like, because I could see there being even more combo potential here. Plus, we all know who's making the game, guys. Come on. Once I got used to it, I could tag enemies, teleport to them, stun them, and throw them at other creatures surrounding me. That
Tag enemies and teleport to them. So it is like
Okay, so you do have to tag. All right.
oh my god, this is just so it's like it's all the like coolest characters from all the coolest Japanese games and anime ever, like rolled into one, plus Star Wars, you know. It's like Naruto's dad from Naruto, when he would like he had the instant teleportation jutsu. It's like
I did not make it that far, Jeff. I did not.
oh yeah, he was awesome. He slaps a seal on people. He has like a mark that he can put on anything and he instantly teleports to them.
Okay.
So he would like fight someone. He would fight someone who's like really fast, really hard to hit, and just as long as he like laid that seal on him, he could just immediately at any point just teleport and instantly like hit him with the Rasengan or something. But also Noctis from Final Fantasy 15. There's my plug for
tag
that.
enemies.
Yes, your favorite character of all time.
So, but it is a tagging situation where you use the one ability you're stunning them, but you're also you're marking them for the next move.
I gotcha.
Just
Yeah,
teleport
it's
to it.
interesting.
teleport to them, stun them, and throw them at other creatures surrounding me. Then, when they were downed, I could land a finisher on them and quickly move on to the next one. Luckily, the status page in the main menu does list all of your abilities with
Dragon's Foin, advanced form of Dragon Stab that allows the user to travel farther and causes the forceful jab to inflict magic damage as well. Oh, so you're inflicting both kinds of damage, huh? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty useful against ghosts and stuff.
I'm assuming that's how Mystic Knight might have worked in the first one. We were Magick Archer people. So
yeah.
By the way, our our grand finale for our Let's Play of Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen is going to happen live on Saturday, 3 p.m. EST time. We're going to beat the game. We're going to beat the game in preparation for Dragon's Dogma 2. Just throwing that out there.
Descriptions so you can get a good idea of how everything works before trying it out. I'd really like to see something similar to Devil May Cry where we get a zone to just practice combos in. Obviously, Dragon's Dogma 2 isn't as combo heavy as Itsuno's other series, but you never know, and I get to be hopeful. I get to be hopeful, guys. I get to ask for things.
Should I maybe I should like play some Devil May Cry in my downtime just to warm up a little bit.
That might actually be a great fucking idea, considering.
Yeah, where we left off, this is ancient lore for the channel for anyone that is interested, but one of the first games we ever tried streaming when we were total nobodies, nobody watching, barely anyone seeing the VODs, was Devil May Cry. And I left off right when we got to be able to use Dante. So I could just like, as like a new character, I could just go, that's interesting. I like how it sounds like, I like how combo heavy it is, but like how versatile it seems like, you can mix and match everything.
I know, it really seems like he can do everything. I mean, he's great at, he can do the range combat. He can definitely do the melee combat. He's got magic attacks, physical attacks. He can chuck you off a fucking cliff, get up to all kinds of shenanigans.
You really do have like multiple options at any given stage. Because even like with the finishing move, I didn't know this from him doing the, I didn't realize that the spinning attack was so devastating, like the spinning combo.
Yeah.
So that's something new that I learned from here. But other videos that we've watched, there is like a skill, like a stabbing skill where he takes the spear and just like plunges it into people. So you even like all the way through, you have multiple options for, what to do with your enemies. Like he could have used that on the ogre or, other stuff as well. So I like it.
Want things. As for the other vocation, if you played Dragon's Dogma 1, you may already be familiar with the Magick Archer. It's not a personal favorite of mine, and I had a hard time getting used to it, so rather than focusing on it as much as Spearhand, I opted to travel more throughout the play session time that I had allotted. Still, I did get to learn a bit about it, and you get to play as a Beastren character within their main city. All of your main abilities can either be done using Quick Shot or Aim Shot. Aim Shots allow you to charge some, but not all abilities, giving certain weapon skills different effects. Take the Flame Fang arrow, for example.
That's different. That's different from the first one.
Yeah.
The first one, everything had to charge. That was like the thing. It was like a cast time. But now you can fire things quickly.
You have a quick shot, right?
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's see the example.
You could quickly shoot it to get a large explosive arrow that leaves a fire area of effect to burn enemies over time. Or you could be more precise and shoot it with an aimed shot.
Oh, it's the same skill, Jesse.
Oh.
You remember when they were like, "Oh, I used the the flame arrow to like just light this griffin on fire" in like those other IGN videos? That's the same one as the the first person arrow.
I gotcha.
Oh my gosh!
You could quickly shoot it to get a large explosive arrow that leaves a fire area of effect to burn enemies over time. Or you could be more precise and shoot it with an aimed shot. By doing so, the arrow acts like a Stinger missile in Metal Gear Solid and allows you to control the trajectory for a
I love
surprise
that. I love how
surface.
they're fucking
Good
giving
for
you so much
ambushes, or
versatility
just to
there.
make sure you hit exactly what you're going for, like a weak point, for example. Frost Hunter Bolt was a damage.
That little nugget right there, that's huge. That's huge for this class, especially. But like, they're really finding like all these like action-based ways to like stack on like depth to your skills and how many skills you can do and stuff like that. Like that is such a huge deal. It's not just like, oh, we're so far out of the woods in terms of like, this is not like, oh, I have to equip all these skills and remember how to map them, what I mapped them to and blah, 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 blah. It's like, it's really emphasis on the action for action RPG,
Yeah.
And that's so
it just feels
and that's
it feels
such
very
a
seamless, you
that's such
don't
a
have all your
convenient thing.
skills and stuff cordoned off.
Yeah, because why would you? It's an action RPG.
Right.
You can still have the spiritual, they don't need to be separate in the sense that it's like they're named separately. It's just two separate actions. But it can be under the same skill. And then that skill is divided into, depending on how long you hold the button, basically.
Yeah, how you want to use it.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And you'll notice it's not forsaking it to be an action game. It's just properly executing an action RPG in a way that is not like inconvenient to the player, using like modern game design philosophy, or just like what we have available to us, or they're just smart in general. Like that's just that's brilliant. I love that.
Yeah.
So.
Damage over time weapon skill that had the ability to freeze creatures, a status ailment that can slow or completely stop individuals. The attacks seemed
I'm sorry, I
a
missed
status
that.
ailment that was a damage over time weapon skill that had the, or like a weak point, for example. Frost Hunter Bolt was a damage over time weapon skill that had the ability to freeze creatures, a status ailment that can slow or completely stop individuals. The attacks seem to flinch the monster throughout, leading to openings for your pawns or for yourself. Ricochet Seeker could be used in confined spaces to bounce off walls.
The lighting in that last area was insane, by the way, like the sunset or whatever. That was nuts. I had to comment on that.
To become more powerful, or you could aim and charge it to fire off what is effectively a machine gun with insane recoil. Seriously insane. I could barely hit anything at point blank, making me think it's best to use on larger monsters like I do with this griffin here. Finally, Remedy Arrow allows you to shoot restorative arrows at party members or yourself that restore health,
Yeah, we know
meaning
that.
free heals for this class. The main
Wait, so that was the quick shot he just did, right?
That fin here. Finally, Remedy Arrow allows you to shoot restorative arrows at party members or yourself that restore
Okay, yeah, it heals like a little teeny amount.
health, meaning free heals for this class. The main aspect of Magick Archer seems to showcase utility.
Now, presumably that doesn't
damage,
heal the
making
damaged
it a
max
unique
HP
class,
stuff.
but not one that particularly interests.
Oh, look, see, he charged it up, and it was a
there
group
you
heal,
go.
and it was more.
That's fantastic. I really do love that, how it's just so naturally integrated.
That makes me want to play Magick Archer way more now. I
really
like
does,
Magick
yeah.
Archer, but it is a little inconvenient in terms of like you know in the first game it's a lot more like it's different because you have you can use daggers, you can use daggers as your secondary weapon, so you do have like close quarter combat, but it's still like you're playing a Magick Archer, you're trying to do the Magick Archer thing, and so if you're gonna do that, you have to like really plan it out, because they all have a delay on them, like a cast time basically, and if not, then you're I hope you trained up your dagger skills and stuff like that, which I did. So, but this one, that's really cool. Like that seems so intuitive. So, this was supposed to be about quests, and we're not even there yet.
Allows you to shoot restorative arrows at party members or yourself that restore health, meaning free heals for this class. The main aspect of Magick Archer seems to showcase utility over pure damage, making it a unique class, but not one that particularly interested me. So I'm sure someone else could do it more justice, and I wasn't the only one at the play session, guys, so like feel free to go check their videos out too. I don't know who was there, but go find them and check them out.
I've already got like more insightful information out. Like I got insightful information from him for this class that I didn't get from like other videos that we've watched. So,
I know, yeah.
Hats off to him. I guess that's what happens when you have someone that's played the original a lot, actually do it.
I used my time in the class to complete other tasks. Additionally, I really had to remember I could move while shooting/charging. I kind of just stood around while using my abilities, which is not the right call at all in this game.
That's good to know. You can move while you're charging.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do that in the first? You can move a little.
I'm not sure, Jeff. Yeah, could you?
Actually, no. I don't think you can. I don't think you can. Not like move. If anything, I might be totally tripping on that. But if I'm wrong, sorry.
Never,
Jeff.
Really had never.
To I could move while shooting/charging. I kind of just stood around while using my abilities, which is not the right call at all in this game. The most interesting aspects of this session for me by far
here we go.
were the quests and features. If you don't know much about the original game, Dragon's Dogma was an experience where every side quest felt like it had multiple avenues to approach and multiple consequences based on your actions. Characters could die in one quest, and that could lock you out of a future one. You could forge replicas of quest items,
Yeah,
turn the fake in for a
okay.
reward, and
we
keep
did
the
all of the
original.
quests perfectly,
kill a
Jeff.
guy-
Never screwed anything up.
Hey, look, he said the thing we did get right.
Items, turn the fake in for a reward, and
You know, Worm King ring, anybody? Thanks to chat.
I do,
of
yeah, I
course,
recall.
Working under a man such as him, I'd only get chewed up till he decided to spit me out. That jewel was my last hope, and now it's gone. Unless you were to find it for me, would you, sir? Oh boy.
and keep the original. You could kill a guy, resurrect him, have him arrested, and then visit him in jail to receive a unique item. That really happens. It had it all, and I already know that the same can be said for Dragon's Dogma 2 based
Who, was that Fornival? Can we go
Maybe.
visit Fornival in jail?
I don't know. We're gonna have to check that out next time, Jeff.
Oh,
Kinda having my mind blown here.
goodness. Yeah, wait a minute. We just like gave up on him, but I end up in a jail every time. Naturally,
Yeah,
he would have
maybe
gone
he's
to the
been
same
he's
one.
been next to you every time.
Oh, look who it is. The idiot that got me arrested also accidentally struck a guard. So,
That really happens. It had it all, and I already know that the same can be said for Dragon's Dogma 2 based on what I played at this session. NPCs will come up to you with tasks fairly often. It's pretty jarring as you will be immediately interrupted from whatever you were doing and flung into a conversation. Many of these tasks
it was just like, it was a straight up street approach, just an interruption like that, you know. Oh,
have
man. I had one of these side quest interactions happen today. I noped out of it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just in real life.
I used,
Somebody just came up to you. Stopped you dead in your tracks.
I used the Mystic AirPods and I put them back in and I like kept walking. That's how I got rid of it.
Failed.
Side quest failed successfully.
waypoints to follow and are straightforward, but just as many do not hold your hand and require you to do the proper investigative work. I encountered
that I
more
kinda
of
love.
these than I expected within this small play session. For example, a kid was carried off by wolves and we were asked to save him. We can talk to villagers about his last known location, but that isn't enough to find him. You need to continue finding people to get info from where you can learn the kid was picking flowers. Then when I went to this last known location, I began to see flower petals every so often. Following them brought me to wolves and continuing brought me to the kid.
that is the
Eventually,
jankest looking bridge
we then
I've
had
ever
to
seen,
escort
by
him
the way,
back to
Jeff.
wolves. I
see.
began to see
like
flower
shaking.
petals every so often. Following them brought me to wolves and
What is going on here? That is barely a bridge. That thing looks like it's going to collapse immediately. Imminently.
continuing brought me to the kid eventually. We then
Okay,
had
this is
to
like,
escort him back, so I decided to
Yeah.
find a camping spot and wait until daytime.
all right, pausing right there. So that's going to be the part I'm going to have to unlearn is because like my reference point for this is like fetch quests or like investigative quests from games like Final Fantasy VII Remake. You know, where it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I gotta go find the person and press X
It's
on
impossible
them.
to fail, and you just follow the thing on your mini map.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, where's the thing? Who do I go to? I gotta press X.
just
and once
staring
I
at the
have
mini map like a ghoul.
And once I have that information, it doesn't matter if I know what it is or I process it because it's on my map. I'm gonna go fight. It's all gonna come back to I'm gonna go fight something. But this they really want you to look. And
Yeah,
you know,
I'm curious like how this is received too, because it's such a fucking like different take from just the last 10 years of RPGs and questing in general to just kind of let you fail, you know, let you fuck it up.
It's gonna
force you to do the actual work.
It's gonna hinge on how alive it feels. Because even for games like, you know, there's games like Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom, where they have some things like this where you have to like kind of think about it and search it out. But because they're optional and there's so many other things to do in that game that are more fast paced, I never go find the things, you know?
Yeah.
And they even like hinted at you, they like tell you in red, it's like thing in a cave or like, you know, 4 things of cloth or something like that. I'm never that interested. So if in this game, the majority of the interactions are like that, and it's like, no, this is just, it's like real life. You got to like ask around and figure it out. And, you know, it's not clear. There's no quest marker, you know, there's nothing else like that, you know, if it's this or Wonder, because it seems like it's like, okay, you're gonna have the more actiony things, but the actiony things are just occurring all the time as you're wandering around anyway.
Constantly.
You know, it's not like you have fetch quests and action quests. It's like you have to investigate the world, and then the world is also alive, and there's a lot of dynamic things going on in it. So I think that might persuade me to like do these. It might. But I'm someone with a low attention span. I've been groomed into that by big gaming, okay? By big
It's not my fault, I swear.
big single player, the evil elites that run these companies that don't want me to
put
explore.
the
and be
quest markers
curious.
in the water. They're trying to corrupt the youth.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we'll see. We'll see if I can return to tradition, if I can return to the tradition of thinking for myself and asking around and exploring, and that I don't totally fail in that process, because it also seems like you could screw that up. So it's very interesting because it's a very old school mechanic, but it is a very modern game overall. So we'll see how they port that feature of using your brain again. So
Escorts will actually sit in camp. I decided to find a camping spot and wait until daytime. Escorts
cool.
will
Yeah, they
actually
actually
sit
hang out in
in
camp.
camp with you and your pawns, which is a really
Now,
nice
can you chat
detail,
them
and
up?
I guess so. You can examine the tent. I guess you
Curious.
can talk to them.
Escorts will actually
You're gonna get like a random line, like how you could chat them up
Okay.
on the
yeah.
road. Probably.
Well, something.
Yeah.
sit in camp with you and your pawns, which is a really nice detail, and I don't know if you've seen the cooking mechanic yet, but you can use it to give yourself temporary bonuses after resting. Plus, it looks like they filmed all the food in live action, which is a cool touch.
By the way, we have been informed by everyone that,
By many people.
by many people that it was live action. I'm sorry. The other guy, the other video, the guy wasn't clear if it was real or not either. So that is so funny that they just like had a filming session for live action cooking. That's just an excuse to have like a steak day at the office.
That's all that was.
That's awesome.
This guy. I
Good
know
for
what he's
them.
up to.
Good for them.
Does see the return of pork crystals, and there is one in your inventory at the start. I thought about placing one at the town and using a fairy stone to bring the kid back, but I was scared he wouldn't follow, so I went the long way. I think in the original, if you used a fairy stone, it would bring an escorted character with you, but I didn't remember for sure, and
I wouldn't be surprised if they like didn't enable that in this one, like they got rid of that, because I would like take on a side quest and I would just forget that the guy was in my party, and I'd like warp around do like 3 different story quests, and then randomly I would end up like doing what I wanted to do. That happened at least one time in my playthrough. I randomly ended up where the guy wanted me to take him, and he was like, "Oh, thank you so much." I was like, "Oh wait, you're not one of my
still
pawns.
Here? What?
You're not one of my pawns. You've just been like following us this whole time with a health bar over your head." But that might be a user error thing. So
only had so much time.
Maybe,
and
Jeff.
I didn't want to risk
Maybe.
it. One of my favorite features is back with forgeries, which we are introduced to when an individual asks us to find a rare Jedi orb for him that he lost on his travels.
Oh, nice.
He wants to find it before Master Everard finds out. Some member of a merchant's guild, perhaps. We can talk to the local shop owner who has the orb and buy it off.
just another obligatory sketchy shop for the forgeries. I love it.
Of course.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, everyone.
Member of a merchant's guild, perhaps. We can talk to the local shop owner who has the orb and buy it off of him, but the owner also has the ability to make forgeries. Like in the last game, I handed him the orb and some gold and was told to wait for the forgery to be completed. Luckily, you can now find benches to quickly rest at and doze off to speed up time. I did that multiple times and was
nice. That's really nice, guys. That's really nice.
There wasn't any sort of like weight mechanic in the first one, was there?
You had to just rest at the end, you know.
Oh, that's right, the inn. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Interrupted by none other than Master Everard himself, who approached me about the orb and offered a reward for returning it, so you can guess where I wanted to go with this. Of course, I ended up...
Really? Wow. So wait, he was approached like when he rested? While he was waiting for the forgery.
Was soon interrupted by none other than Master Everard himself, who approached me about the orb and offered a reward for returning it, so you can guess where I wanted to go with this.
You wanted to return the forgery, right?
Yep.
Of course, I ended up making 2 forgeries, one for Everard and one for the other merchant, and let me tell you, the developers doubled down on the possibilities.
That's amazing.
Double. It's a sequel. It's Dragon's Dogma 2. 2 times the combat, 2 times the
times the
exploration,
forgeries.
2 times the forgery, 2 times the
and
scam.
one for the other merchant. And let me tell you, the developers doubled down on the possibilities with forgeries within quests, since they knew how unique and abusable it was in the last game. I tried to hand the forgery over, but
so funny.
Everard wanted to have it appraised first to make sure
Oh
of the validity.
no! Oh no! They got us. They got us. They're on to us, Jesse. Oh no!
He played the first one too. God damn it!
They know your game. They know you want to just be a scumbag the whole game. They thought
Everard
about that.
wanted to have it appraised first to make sure of the validity. I had to perform a walk of shame back with him to the forger, who also happened to be the appraiser. I was sweating. However, I then had the opportunity to bribe the appraiser to lie about it for me. It cost me about the same amount of money as the reward Everard hands me afterward, but he also gave me a powerful thief ring on top of it, plus I got to keep the original orb. Pretty good in my opinion. I then
Wow. Okay, that's a lot of layers going
awesome,
on
yeah.
there. That's really funny.
Oh my goodness.
That's kind of Baldur's Gate level of like plot twist.
It is. It
know?
absolutely is, Jeff. Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. That's so funny. Good for them. Good for this game. That's really exciting.
returned the second fake to the original merchant, who ran off to find Everard, so I am sure there are consequences to follow.
Oh, wait. Really?
Got to keep the original orb. Pretty good in my opinion. I then returned the second fake to the original merchant, who ran off to find Everard, so I am sure there
So the original merchant was working for Everard, and so now he's he's gonna come and be like, "There's 2 of them." Oh my goodness!
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Then they hunt you down and kill you. It's the hardest boss in the game. Everard's vengeance.
are consequences to
gonna
follow.
get you, Jeff.
Something like that doesn't happen without repercussions, and I can't wait to see where it will lead. I should
That's
also mention that
so
some of these
cool.
side quests, like the kid with the wolf, are timed. If a certain amount of time passes within the game, there's a chance that the kid will just die, and if you can't find him in time, you'll find his corpse, apparently. That didn't happen to me, but it can happen. I was
That didn't happen to me.
Only at IGN.
Yeah. Yeah. That was an IGN exclusive, I think.
told. While I didn't take part in the main storyline quest much, I did need to get past the gate checkpoint, and the guard informed me that I was not the person described on the entry permit, as they were supposed to be Beastren. Well, that's bad news. Guess we can't continue on the main storyline. But wait, I remembered seeing a Beastren mask I could buy at the Forgery shop, so I went back, bought, and equipped it. Somehow the mask was enough to fool the guard, and he allowed me passage through.
For the
cool
main
thing is-
quest? For the main quest?
That's awesome.
You had to do the same thing to solve the main quest. This is what this was, right?
Point, and the guard informed me that I was
Hold on. Let me just double check.
part in the main storyline quest much. I did need to get past the gate checkpoint, and I think while I didn't take part in the main storyline quest much, I did need to get past the gate checkpoint,
Yeah,
and the guard
there you
informed
go.
me that I was not the person described on the entry permit.
That's so
as they
cool,
were
dude.
supposed to be Beastren. Well, that's bad news. Guess we can't continue on the main storyline. But wait, I remembered seeing a Beastren mask I could buy at the Forgery shop, so I went back, bought.
So if you go straight there, you're just like stuck. And you just have to wander around until you find it. I already know that
Yeah.
would have been my knowing what I know now, my playstyle may change now that I've played through Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. But if this was my first Dragon's Dogma game, I can see the clip
That would
already.
absolutely happen
I can
to
see
you,
the
Jeff,
clip
I
already.
know.
I just go, I get stuck, and then I wander around, and then maybe with chat's help, maybe I do it on my own. I like to
Maybe.
think, and then I just stumble. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. That's really cool.
and equipped it. Somehow the mask was enough to fool the guard, and he allowed me passage through. The cool thing is, if you were a Beastren character already, you could bypass this entire process.
Holy
the attention to
shit.
detail is already prominent throughout the small preview. While
Yeah, I can't wait to. They might be about to talk about it, but I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see how like everything we've done in the character creator like impacts the game.
Oh, look, Jeff. Yeah, you can change your appearance and stuff. That's
throughout the
cool.
small preview.
Yeah.
While playing
Wait, what is it? Wait a minute. What the fuck was that?
this
Yeah,
entire
you see that?
process, the
Well, hold
attention to
on.
detail
Before we
is
get to
already
that.
prominent throughout the small.
Oh, this is just the pause menu. Oh yeah, I forgot the pause menu looks
Right.
insane.
Yeah, we've seen that.
The pause menu looks like the Game of Thrones opening. You know, like this is the map that the camera zooms in on for the Game of Thrones.
Mhm.
That's so good.
preview. While playing as the Beast-Dren Magick Archer, I got to check out a bit of the character creation process. By hitting up a barbershop, you can customize various features of you or your pawn, from hair to tattoos to markings if you're Beast-Dren.
Yeah, that's nice.
If you have a specific item, you can trade that to do a full character customization process as well. I didn't delve too deep into it, but just letting you know so that you don't feel too worried about getting everything perfect and then realizing you messed something up later. You can fix it. Tattoos are also pretty involved. You can choose presets or move, shape, and resize things to your liking. Additionally, the equipment upgrade system seems to be the same as ever. You pay gold for the first tier of upgrade and then need various materials for the other two.
Magick Crutch. What is that? Oh, this is just for upgrading the weapons, I see. All right.
Yeah.
As ever. You pay gold for the first tier of upgrading. Additionally, the equipment upgrade system seems to be the same as ever. You pay gold for the first tier of upgrade and then need various materials for the other two. I imagine you can still Dragon Forge gear as well. By the way, on the topic of item...
I did pretty bad with that. I did pretty bad with getting items for upgrades. So we may need to... I think this next one, we're really going to be taking our time exploring and everything. So I think I should do better in Dragon's Dogma 2.
And equipment. The lantern has a shortcut now, so you don't need to jump into the menu all the time anymore.
Oh, that's so nice.
Moving on, a woman named Manila.
Thank God. And also, thank God, since we know this guy's a Dragon's Dogma veteran, thank God I'm just not an idiot that just didn't know if there was a hot button for the controller. I played with the controller in the first one. Oh, that's so nice, though. Okay.
Here as well. By the way, on the topic of items and equipment, the lantern has a shortcut now, so you don't need to jump into the menu all the time anymore. Thank you, Itsuno. Moving on, a woman named Manila asked me to save her empress from a would-be assassin during a ceremony called the Supplications. You cannot bring pawns into the palace due to lore reasons. Battalions.
We learned about that. That's the
that's interesting.
I think that's the lady that's like doing the Beast-Dren lady. That's
the
doing
ritual.
The dance.
Yeah,
the ritual. Yeah. Okay.
Hate pawns, I guess. Are they called battalions? The place is called Batal. During the ceremony, we need to find and grapple who we think is the assassin. I had no idea who to choose, but the quest description mentioned a man with his hair tied back and an injured arm. When I thought I found him, I grappled him and successfully completed the quest, which is odd, right? Weird for an assassin to fail his first attempt and then come back looking the exact same, as if we wouldn't be able to spot him in this small crowd of people. What a moron. I'm not lying about this. The person monitoring my playthrough told me I was the only one to successfully do that and that everyone else had to let her die. Allegedly. But that does...
Wait, I didn't get that. I didn't quite understand that. Let me see.
And then come back looking the exact description mentioned a man with his hair tied back and an injured arm. When I thought I found him, I grappled him and successfully completed the quest.
Oh, I see what he's talking about. Like, why did he come back a second time looking the exact same? Well, maybe he's on a timeline, you know?
Yeah, you know, he thought he was playing Assassin's Creed. He was just going to blend into the fucking crowd.
Odd, right? Weird for an assassin to fail his first attempt and then come back looking the exact same, as if we wouldn't be able to spot him in this small crowd of people. What a moron. I'm not lying about this. The person monitoring my playthrough told me I was the only one to successfully do that and that everyone else had let her die. Allegedly.
Nobody else paid attention, probably. You know,
they're just mashing through the fucking dialogue, like trying to get the footage as quickly as possible.
Yeah, what scumbags? Who would ever do that? Who'd ever do that?
Nobody, not us.
Any game with dialogue. Well, I will say the dialogue seems like it's good in this game. Like they used real British people or something. Like, you know, it seems good. Authentic, 100% organic British people were used in the making of the Dragon's Dogma 2 dialogue.
But that does mean that many of these quests have lasting repercussions, which I adore. Can't wait to fail the Sphinx riddle that you only get one chance at in the entire game. While I was walking through the streets of...
God. We're going to get wrecked by that thing, dude. We're going to get wrecked.
Oh, absolutely, Joe.
Oh, it's not even going to be close. You know they put that in there and made that challenging for the veterans that have been putting 1,000 hours in, or 5,000 hours.
I hope so. I hope they did. They need a challenge.
It's going to steamroll us. We're going to just have to fight it and get good enough to fight it. But whatever that riddle is, it's gonna screw us up.
Batal, some guy got mad at me because I was a Beast-Dren traveling with pawns. That's right, there's pawn prejudice in this game. He even tried to have a 3v1 fight with me, but someone I assume will be an important NPC convinced him to a 1v1, which I still lost somehow.
Got a little Uncanny Valley look there.
Him to a 1v1, which I still lost somehow, because I think I moved too far from the fighting area. I'm not lying. Look, I had full HP. I'm not bad at this game, guys. I swear. I swear. Now, I did want to at least try to complete a storyline quest or at least have an excuse to explore the broader areas within the game. Once I was finally on my way to try and do that, I ended up getting ambushed by a griffin of all things. Griffins seem oddly prevalent in DD2, as are ambushes. It seems like enemies will remember your
I wonder
location.
if that's how the actual game is, or if they just like ramp that up for the,
For the demo?
for these guys, basically. Yeah.
I don't know, and it also I'm pretty sure that they got placed like into different scenarios, so that it's like further down the road with the game. So maybe it starts out a lot slower, a lot less
that makes
intense, but then gradually, as you go to other areas or something, like it gets more, I don't
getting
know.
ambushed
All
by
hell
a griffin
breaks
of
loose.
all things. Griffins seem oddly prevalent in DD2, as are ambushes. It seems like enemies will remember your location. If you let a bandit scout get away from you, you may find yourself getting attacked by reinforcements later.
Really? That is big if true, dude. Big if true. Big if true.
Similarly, a griffin could leave to heal and come back for round 2. While fighting the griffin, I kept trying to set it aflame.
Really? Is that the vibe? That's the impression he got? Is that like they left and came back? That's so fucking scary, dude. I'm going to be on edge. I'm going to be on edge everywhere that's not a town, basically.
I need another Arisen to just ambush you with their pawns and fuck you up, Jeff. That's what I need.
Oh my gosh. Oh no, that's all we need. Yeah.
While fighting the griffin, I kept trying to set it aflame to prevent it from flying and eventually decided to climb up onto its back to try and ricochet shot the hell out of him. He ended up taking off, which took me off guard, but you are now oddly stable on the backs of large creatures, meaning we had the opportunity to
Oh yeah, you were just talking about that.
That's awesome. Great to hear that confirmed. That's really fun. That's going to be a fun little balancing act. Oh, this is scary. This thing is so creepy, man. It's such a great. They put so much love into the griffin design.
I know. He's got a beak yet like teeth at the same time. Like what the hell?
Oh my god.
Are now oddly stable on the backs of large creatures, meaning we had the opportunity to organically have a griffin fly us around an exceptionally large portion of the map, which I don't think the people expected. The flying looked a bit different from what I had seen previously in other trailers, but that may have been because it was nighttime. Still,
yeah, okay. So the IGN guy, he whiffed it because he was holding. He did what I would have done.
He was trying
grabbing.
to climb. Yeah,
he was holding on to him. You could just. Wow,
that's fucking crazy.
He said the people
like
monitoring him didn't expect it. That's so funny. Oh, this guy actually. They're probably, when you think about it, the Dragon's Dogma 2 developers, those poor guys. They're based on their experience, they're people probably aren't gonna remember this, or they're they've never played it before, so we gotta make kind of reintroduce everything. It must be so nice when they see someone more experienced come in and they're like, oh, you knew what to do. Nice.
Decided to climb up onto its back to try and ricochet shot the hell out of him. He ended up taking off, which took me off guard, but you are now oddly stable on the backs of large creatures, meaning we had the opportunity to organically have a griffin fly us around an exceptionally large portion of the map, which I don't think the people monitoring me expected.
He's just chilling.
The flying looked
awesome.
Look, and the location's changing. He's getting new map.
I know. If you look at the mini map too, you can see it changing so fast.
Let me see. Let me back it up. I'm just gonna look at the mini map here.
Large creatures, meaning we had the opportunity to organically have a
oh my god! Oh my god!
Large portion of the map, which I don't think the people monitoring me expected.
He's in creative mode. He's just flying around in creative mode.
A bit different from what I had seen previously in other trailers, but that may have been because it was nighttime. Still, I managed to land at the griffin's nest and finished him off in one of the more.
Oh my god! Yeah, can you imagine? Oh, that would be so cool. Get on his back and then just see how far and you get
straight to the end of the game.
Oh my god, I want to try that.
Griffin's nest and finished him off in one of the more climactic battles within the. I managed to land at the Griffin's nest and finished him off in one of the more climactic battles within the play session. And let me just say, nights are as brutal as ever. I lost all of my pawns and ended up getting my ass kicked over and over again. I had to hide out somewhere until morning since they were guarding.
Oh my god, that's so cool though. So, Griffin flies back to a nest. You could warp.
Yeah,
what if you sense. What if we do that first stream? We just get on a Griffin and then we he lands and we run away then we're on the other side of the map.
That's very us, Joe.
And we just try and find a town or something and hope it's okay. Oh my god. There's no fast travel. Well, I mean, there's a port
the
crystals.
ox carts and
There's
stuff
port
like that.
crystals and ox cards, yeah.
Getting my ass kicked over and over again. I had to hide out somewhere until morning since they were guarding all of the camps, meaning I couldn't progress back to day.
They were guarding the camps?
Damn.
Oh,
Damn.
no. Oh, no, dude. I'm gonna cut loose so hard when this game drops, dude. I'm gonna do some crazy stuff. I gotta try. I just gotta try wild, stupid things. Oh,
It seems like they want you to, Jeff.
Oh, I appreciate the invitation.
Things off, while I was finally trying to make my way to the quest location, I ran into a huge Drake who told me to show him my power before he party wiped us in no time. It was awesome. Everything we love from Dragon's Dogma 1
As
was
he
back
should.
in 2 and then some. Dragon's Dogma
that's
2
lovely.
continues to shape into everything I've wanted out of the sequel, just as I said in my previous preview video. Now with hands-on experience as the Mystic Spearhand, I am almost positive that it will be the vocation I maintain throughout my playthrough, before potentially switching to Warfarer in the late game, depending on how that vocation ends up working out. Again, I'm most excited that the quests seem to be as mechanically involved in the sequel as they were in the first, if not more so. There's plenty of ways to handle a situation, and plenty of ways to get one over on someone if you care about keeping unique items in your inventory/storage. I know I do. I love that. If you guys have any questions about things I may have missed or forgotten to talk about, feel free to ask in the comments. I can't promise I'll have an answer to everything, but I'll try to answer what I can. Additionally, please feel free to check out my Dragon's Dogma retrospective and the other preview that I had. They're up on my YouTube channel. The retrospective goes into great detail about all the mechanics within the game, the storyline, etc. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, as it helps me make this content for you all. Thanks for watching, everyone.
What a fantastic video, Jeff.
That was great. Oh, this little pig here. Well, that was great. That was great, Jesse. I'm subscribing. I like that. That was good. That was good. I might watch that Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen retrospective just to kind of see if there's any last minute skills I want to make myself aware of that I gone the whole game without knowing or something. So yeah, that was really nice. That was a really nice, like, kind of overview, basically like more of a detailed analysis of the two vocations and the quest lines.
Yeah.
I will say it seems like it's like definitely like the mechanics of the quest are definitely much more involved, I would say, than Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. At least from as someone that is fairly new to the series, and just played the first one. This one seems like it is, like, at least as someone who's still fairly new, only got about like 40 hours or something.
Yeah.
Like
the DNA is the same, but you can see where they just took it and just ran with it. So
yeah, so he's really selling me on the Mystic Spearhand. Magick Archer as well. It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough to, like, choose. It's gonna be pretty easy to pick I guess you got to pick from the basic classes first, but like, that Mystic Spearhand sounded really cool. It'll just come down to a skill issue.
it doesn't just sound cool; it fucking looks cool as shit, Jeff.
Yeah,
It really seems like your style too.
maybe we'll see. We'll see how much of a skill issue it becomes. This is a lot of combos. But the Magick Archer with the quick shot, that is like a, I don't know what I was thinking it would be, because presumably you couldn't use the daggers anymore, so I didn't know what it was that they were replacing that with. But that's also very intriguing, because that makes that class seem way more accessible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think overall, I think, like, for the quests, we got a bit more information, I think, from this guy. The impression that I'm getting is that this would be the game. If there's a game that is going to allow me to like let go of, like, this weird hyper focusing mode that I've been groomed into slipping into, like, from all these other games where it's like, I got to beat the main quest, or I got to, like, if I do a side quest, I got to find the marker and just, like, kind of go, play game, check, check the checkbox, that kind of thing. I think this is going to be the game that's going to, it might get me to do that with the side quest or this quest in general, and, like,
it's
genuinely
again another
be inquisitive, genuinely be exploratory.
Right. It's another reconfirmation of the fact that, like, these are not quests like you have them in other games. You actually kind of have to do your homework. You actually kind of have to get into this world. to really get stuff done, and there's a lot of other things that are pulling you in, and I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to just kind of getting lost in this game.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm just speechless at the more that comes out about the combat, especially like the quest. It's very Kino and comfy to know about. Those being like a viable option that I might actually be interested in pursuing, like me genuinely exploring something. That's really, that's like the that's like icing on the cake. But then the cake that keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger is like,
it's a big cake.
The thought that's going into the like combat mechanics and everything like that. Like it's so dense. It's all so dense. So, and I will also say, what it sounds like, or I mean, for what I'm hearing from like how he's describing the main quest, it sounds interesting. Like I was like kind of, I was kind of sold on it. It was like, oh, there's an assassination attempt, and we have to go figure out who it is. And it's like, okay, that's there in the back of my mind too. If I want to do that, and I also really liked how, the same exploration mechanics that you would use for the side quest, you have to use for the main quest to get through the gate as well. That's really interesting, and I think that's really good that they made that.
Yeah, it's that level of like freedom and shenanigans all the way throughout, not just that one little quest they showed, but you get to stretch your brain a little, your creativity.
Yeah, it's not, and I think there's very few games that do that. Like a lot of the logic that you would use for, or like a lot of the thought processes that you would use for, a lot of games you would have a separate thought process for the main quest and the side quest. Usually like in practice, like that's how it shakes out. Like something's different. Yeah, you're shifting gears.
Yeah,
that seems to not be the case here. So I think that's really awesome. But yeah, on that note, thanks so much for watching this. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this. Go check this guy's videos out. This is SuperRAD. Again, for anyone that didn't know, he's way bigger than us, but good content. So real recognize real and all that. Go check him out. Go subscribe to him. And we would love to have you join us live. Subscribe to the channel. To see all the videos that we post and stuff, but we would really love to have you join us live. We're streamers. We love JRPGs, action RPGs, and more specifically Dragon's Dogma. So like I said earlier, we're going to be beating Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, hopefully, this Saturday at 3 p.m.
We'll
EST.
see, Jeff. We'll see.
Well, the stretch goal is if we beat it kind of quickly, then we have like several hours to get back into Bitter Black Isle that we kind of started last play session. But we'll see. Maybe we get wiped. Maybe that's the whole stream is desperately trying to beat this. That would be a disaster if we don't beat it before Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out. So
I know.
We'd love to, join us in chat and see the grand reveal. Did the noob become a confident player? Does he, or will he be filtered? Will he pass the final filter?
The great Dragon's Dogma filter, Jeff.
Yeah. So, but yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out.
See ya.